Hello folks, today we're going to talk about how to get slow motion in OpenGate with the LUMIX S5IIX with the 6K OpenGate. So, you cannot get it inside the camera, so internally in the camera, and that is probably the downside about this whole process, because you will need to do it externally. And you can do it mainly with all basically the editing programs that there are nowadays. So we are going to use DaVinci Resolve because that's my chosen program that I use to edit every time. But you can edit this, or this function is basically the same in all the others. So I'm pretty sure there is in Premiere Pro and in Final Cut. I'm not sure if you can get it in CapCut or Filmora or however the other ones, but you can check. The names should be pretty much the same. So what you're gonna need is open your program, so DaVinci Resolve, Premiere Pro, or whatever, and you put the files in. And as you can see here, I have my timeline. I usually use my timeline is mainly like 4K DCI. So that's what I usually edit on and deliver the final footage to be. And then, as you can see here in the test view, or the view here, you can see that this is an OpenGate, especially because you see that there are those dark bars on the sides. So this is a 3x2 OpenGate, while this one is a 17x9. So you can see exactly how this thing works, and how I will usually highlight everything and scale them to 1.270, because that's where everything will kind of be in the right framing. And then of course I just go to it to check if these are exactly how I want them to be, perfect. So this is a wedding video that I shot I think 2 weeks ago. They are my friend's wedding, and if we click on it and we go in the file, we can see that this is a 6K. It's filmed in 25 frames per second, right? So if I play it, you see it's basically going off as all of them is filmed like in 25, right? Okay, so what we need to do now is to go in video, I set it to R, but you can basically set it to whatever. That's because I use everything with my left hand, so mine is in R. But if you scroll here, you can see it even I think speed change here. Yes, even in speed change, you can basically set it to be in the slow-mo you want, but at the moment it's pretty choppy, right? And the reason why it's choppy is because it's not filmed in the right frame rate. But how we bypass that, it's by going to retime and scaling and using optical flow. Basically what optical flow does is that it analyzes the images and substitute basically the gaps that are going through the images, because they are not filmed natively in 50 frames per second. So it's gonna basically analyze the frames and basically fill up the gaps with the frames, if you understand what I mean. But then what you have to do, because optical flow, it looks already pretty good, but to make sure that the image will be even better, is you can now in Premiere Pro, in DaVinci Resolve, now you have all of these beautiful things here that you can use to help you and help your computer. So if you go to Enhance Fast, because that's what I use the most, and I'm using an M1 Max, it's what will work better, because if you go to the better, it's going to be pretty hard on your computer. But with fast, it's pretty like smooth, right? So if you highlight everything that you want to basically retime and click 50, and then you go on optical flow and then enchant faster, now all your image are going to be beautifully in 60 frames per second. And that's how you basically get an open gate. You see, 60 frames per second open gate. And if you want, you can try 120 frames per second. Right? You can basically get 120 frames per second with open gate. Beautiful, right? So comment down below what you think about this gimmick or this beautiful way that nowadays we can basically have to edit. Of course, this will have his downsides. If there are too fast-paced things in the image, you will have to pay attention because there might be some weird things going on. Let me see if I can find a frame to show you that. So as you can see here on the flowers, there is a little bit of a weird thing going on. You see, the motion blur is not, it doesn't look natural. You see, it's a little bit like of a gimmicky, but I guess if you try maybe the enchant better one, it might maybe look a little bit better. But yeah, at least you know that you have the option to slow down your footage even after you film in OpenGate. I will usually use this feature only in case I've done some mistakes, but since I love shooting in OpenGate and there is no slow motion currently with the S5IIX in slow motion because of the limitation that the sensor brings, I use basically optical flow all the time on OpenGate. So this is how you can achieve slow motion in OpenGate. I hope this wasn't too much of a blubbering and everything. If you like this type of videos, consider subscribing and let me know what kind of other things you would like to see more. So thank you for sticking here with me. I'm gonna see you in the next one. Take good care of yourself.